kingdoms collapse. Now anarchy reigns. You want it, you got it. Now anarchy reigns.
All right. Well, real quick here today, I have do a new style here today. Today, I have welcoming my new co-host, Eric. Eric, what's going on, buddy?
Man, just another beautiful day here in Western New York. Nice, chilly 36 degrees, but the sun is out and the snow is not falling. So we are all aces.
All right. Well, today,
Cheers.
This is the best day to start with you because we have a guest today that you know a little bit about, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like my young
Do
Padawan.
you want to introduce him?
No, I'll let you. I'll let you introduce him. But if everybody ends up, loving him as much as I love him, I mean, yeah, he's got it made.
Okay. Well, I'm going to introduce him as you would call him. Today, everybody, we have young Nathan from the band The Catastrophes from Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome, Nathan.
What's up? I appreciate you guys.
Hey!
Yeah. Sit down, everybody. Sit down.
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.
So, Nathan, you're in a band from Nashville, Tennessee. How long has your band and you been around?
We've been this a little over 2 years now, I think.
Okay.
We don't really count the first about 6 or 8 months of the band because it was a train wreck of just all the stuff we put out sucked and the shows sucked. And so we ended up landing a really good lineup now of my buddy Garrett on drums. And then we just recently kind of solidified this guy, Will Harley, as our bass player. And I think we're finally hitting stride now. We're playing almost too many shows, but we're playing a lot of shows and finally like feeling good about where things are at. So I'd say we've really been going full stride maybe the last 6 or 8 months. So.
Cool. Yeah, and you guys are in the middle of putting out a new EP or new full length, however you want to call it. How's that been going?
It's been going well. So yeah, it'll be a full length, a little shorter of full length. It's only 10 songs, but it'll be probably around 30 minutes. I try not to put a date on these things because as soon as I do, I end up that it never works out. So we're really close. It's recorded by Matt Yonker. I was talking to him yesterday about putting some of the final touches on mixing. So hopefully we'll get some mixes back today or tomorrow that are pretty close where we can end up sending it to mastering somewhere in the next couple weeks. And we're planning on a couple singles, at least 2 singles before the full length's out. So I'm hoping sometime this summer.
Hell yeah. Well, you did let me get a little snip of it, and I enjoyed I listened to the first 4 tracks of it. Really good stuff. Definitely enjoy it. Looking forward to the final mastered version because I'm sure it's going to even sound even better. And you said you made some changes on some of the songs, so looking forward to those as well. You said Matt Yonkers. It's funny because you guys both have a common friendship with Matt Yonkers. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
Eric's actually the reason I know him. Well, he kind of introduced me originally. I think it was Fest 21.
Yeah. We were watching. It was the pre-fest show. We were watching Descendants, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So
cool. Yeah.
So Matt is if people don't know, Matt Yonkers is now the newer drummer for Less Than Jake, and he also lives in Nash Vegas, and he's been doing some production work with local bands, and of course Nathan is here working with him as we are talking. How did that come about to get him on board?
Yeah, so it was actually way easier than I thought. Our original plan was. With some of our early recordings, drums were always really rough. Like we couldn't get good drum quality. So we were going to outsource drums and then do everything else, like just wherever we could for real cheap. And then I was talking to some of my buddies, like Second Self. I was talking to some of them who had recorded with him. and they talked about just shoot him a text, and he's real cheap, and really cool to work with. I know, like Dopamines are one of my favorite bands, along with the Raging Nathans, and he's done a lot of their stuff. So I got a hold of him, and I told my band guys, if we can get him to do it, we're just gonna do the whole thing with him. And so it ended up working out. There was about a month break in the middle. He was touring through Australia and New Zealand. So we kind of, we put things on hold, and now we're pretty close to wrapping it up, which I don't know if he knows it or not, but as soon as we get done, I'm going to ask him about when we can get back in there with him. Cause we'll probably try and do another EP late, towards the end of this year. So.
Oh, hell yeah, man. That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
That's
dude.
awesome.
Stay busy.
Trying to, man. My wife doesn't love it, but
dedicate the album to her.
So,
oh yeah, that'll really.
So how do you guys know each other?
You want to take this, Eric? You want me?
No, man. Yeah, go ahead. And then
I don't know if I've told you this, Eric. So when I was I just turned 18, I think. And I was reading through, I went to Gallatin, which is northeast of Nashville. And I was in high school looking through the Wikipedia page for just notable alumni or some shit, something stupid. And Stuck Lucky members came up on there it was like Lee and Andy. And they were like notable alumni on there. I'm like, oh, sick. A punk band went to high school here. And then I saw that week they were playing at the end. So I'm like, oh, hell yeah. So I ended up going to the end. It was them, Boss's Daughter, Escapado, and then Lonesome Town Drifters was opening. So that's where I first met Eric. And I knew, I think it was you, Eric. It might have been Sean who had the Never Forget Tony Sly sticker.
that was me.
Yeah. And I knew when you walked out playing that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to love this shit. So, and then from then on, I saw you that next week at the show you hate talking about with One Beggar Son.
Oh yeah, that was a weird lineup. Yeah.
It was odd, but it was cool. And then I didn't see you guys again until running into you at Warped Tour. Just walking around.
That's what I remember meeting. I remember that encounter because it was an encounter that I would have. Not saying that I get recognized for bands that I play in, but when it was me and my brother, we were there at the Warped Tour out there at the fairgrounds, and like you and your buddy walked by, and you're like, "Hey, you're Eric from LTD," and I would have thought it would have been like, "Hey, you're Eric from Blacklist Royals" or something like that, But yeah, that was cool. I mean, because it was like shortly after, it was in between that time when I had left Blacklist Royals and I was in Hellfire Revival and LTD, got LTD back going, which was more of a passion of mine at the time. So yeah, that was a great encounter. Thanks, man. You made my day.
Yeah. And to put it right, to put an almost exact date on it, it was like the week before that Toasters show. Because I remember I asked you, I told you I was going to try and make it.
Yeah. I remember that. That was at the High Watt. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
back when that
you had mentioned, high school and looking at alumni and found Stuck Lucky. Stuck Lucky, man. First off, they're still going strong to this day. They're still out there doing their thing, But back in like high school, middle school, what kind of stuff were you into?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I was into a lot of the what we call cock rock and new metal shit. Of course, I went through that phase. It wasn't until I moved from St. Louis to here right before high school, and that's where I got into punk rock. And I didn't really LTD that LTD Escapado Stuck Lucky show was my first punk show here, because there was really nowhere else I could go under 18. And the end was always cool because I always bought beer there anyway. Like they never cared. So that was always a go-to spot. And so, yeah, punk kind of took over when I moved here in 2013.
Okay.
And so that's kind of where I really got into that. It was more, a lot of new metal shit in St. Louis and like whatever. I wish I would have appreciated punk because it's a really cool scene out in St. Louis. We play there all the time.
Yeah. Hey, you can't deny it. I mean, everybody was into the cock rock, the new metal, and we've all been there, you know. And I still listen to it. You know, good music's good music. It's whatever. But my heart was always with the '90s punk. You know, that's when I got in. That's when I got into it more.
Right, yeah.
You know, that '90s style. Everybody knows the '90s. You know, Epitaph Records and Fat Records was running it back then. You know.
Yeah, you could go to Warped Tour and you would get, you know, they were handing out compilation CDs right and left, man. I remember getting, you know, like your Epitaph, you know, compilation, your Fat, your frickin' Victory Records compilation, you know, just yeah. I mean, the music of the 90s, I mean, that was some good shit for sure, man.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of interesting looking at my progression because it was like the Menzingers with the Rented World record. That's what kind of introduced me to it. It was that. And then, I mean, I'd always been kind of a Green Day fan and like the stuff, I've got a few guilty pleasure records of theirs, like 21st Century Breakdown's not a great record, but I still love it. But it was really like the Menzingers, I think, on Rented World, which isn't even a very good record, that kind of, I backtracked from there and I started finding like Impossible Past. And then that kind of opened up a lot of the New England punk bands for me, which I still think I like them a little bit better than the West Coast skate punk. Like I'm a huge Souls fan, and even the New York hardcore bands, I'm huge into that still. So I think, yeah, it was the Menzingers that I kind of backtracked from. And that's how I found all the 90s skate punk and all that. So.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, all that stuff's good. I mean, you are right that like the East Coast to West Coast, there's a whole different style there. Obviously, there's a whole lot of different things that they sing about differently on the East Coast and what the West Coasters sing about. You know, it's all about where you're from and what you do.
Right.
I'm from the West Coast, so of course I'm always like, West Coast, but I enjoy it all. I also, like you said, the New York hardcore scene up there, that shit was hell. Me and Eric both, you know, are influenced by them as well. You know, that was a great scene, still a great scene.
Yeah,
some great bands still come out in New York. I was a hardcore kid you're always a hardcore kid, but you know, punk rock got me into hardcore. And at the time, I just thought it was all punk rock, and then of course, you know, it became, you know, hardcore or whatever you want to call it. So who are some of your biggest influences, Nathan?
Music, like songwriting. Are you talking songwriting wise or just like music taste?
Well, first off, you don't have to say Eric because he's here. You don't have to say him, but like it influenced you to play music.
Influenced me to play music. It was a lot of Green Day early on because that when American Idiot came out, my dad always had that record playing in the car.
Oh wow!
But it was like early Blink stuff, which is still the only Blink that I like.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
like how early?
A lot of Green Day, a lot of Blink. What's that?
How early of Blink are you talking about?
I'm talking like Cheshire Cat.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, okay. Solid.
Like I really latched on to Cheshire Cat. But it also, what was the Enema of the State was also like my first CD I bought from a yard sale or some shit. And that kind of, again, backtracking from there is where I found the early Blink stuff. But I'd say like just picking up a guitar. It was a lot of early Blink stuff in Green Day. Because Green Day was so easy to learn a lot of those songs.
Yeah.
And then, when I moved here, had no friends, didn't know anybody, so it was just playing guitar all the time, and that's where I really dove in. It was a lot of like 90s, early 2000s grunge and rock. Like I learned a lot of Bush, and a lot of that I don't know, turn of the century kind of rock stuff. So,
any Nickelback in there?
I'm sure at one point there was, as much as it pains me to say, I'm sure, yes.
Hey, did you guys see that Nickelback documentary that was on Netflix?
Thank God I don't have Netflix.
It, but I saw it. Yeah.
No.
It's actually very fucking good. I watched it. Now you can't hate. I mean, you can hate on them, but if it wasn't for them, I felt everyone says it. Roadrunner Records may have never kept going. You know, like
Oh, wow.
Nickelback's the ones who brought all that money into them at that time. You know.
Well, here's a funny story. I had MTVX there
What the
around.
hell is that?
Oh, dude, it was great. It was an awesome MTV like sub, like offshoot station. We had it. It was probably around 2000, 2002, 2003 is when it, I think 2002 or 2003 is when it finally got canned. But they would play metal, they would play punk, they would play ska, they would play emo, screamo, just all things like rock. And then they ended up changing it to fucking MTV, another MTV rap video channel. And I remember calling up the station and like yelling at some poor intern, why did you change MTVX? Like, back to the story, MTVX actually, that's how I got introduced to like Nickelback, because they had like a video on there. And it was before they just became like this huge butt rock phenomenon. So MTVX introduced me to fucking Nickelback. Yeah. Maybe that went off.
I got to see Nickelback. Not saying like, yeah, I got to go see them. I'd gotten robbed working at the movie theater. I got cracked in the back of the head, and I couldn't work for a little bit. So I was just like fucking just chilling at home. My buddy was like, "Hey man, do you want to go to BuzzFest?" And Nathan, if you weren't here then, there was BuzzFest was a radio station, had a big festival every year.
Yeah.
And Nickelback, it was Nickelback and like Unwritten Law and like all. It was just a crazy lineup, SR7 won, a bunch anyway. So I was like knocked out most of the time because I was on pain meds. And my buddies were like, "Oh, and Train was there too." It was Train.
What a lineup.
Yeah, but it's a rock radio station, so it was just like played everything, But so I'm knocked out. I tell my buddy, if I fucking wake up and I see that Nickelback guy, I'm leaving. Well, I wake up in the middle of Train set, and I'm thinking I'm seeing Nickelback at first, because the guy was out there singing with Train, and I was like, "Man, we're leaving." He's like, "Nope. It's not Nickelback, it's Train." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But the next band was fucking Nickelback. But hey, I watched them. I didn't have any choice. I couldn't go anywhere. If
there is a hell,
correct me if
Train is the soundtrack that is playing over the intercom. That is my.
You don't like Hey Soul Sister, huh?
Oh, that's the song. Yeah. Hey, Soul Sister.
I hate that band so bad. Oh man, I'd rather listen to Nickelback than Train, and that's saying a lot right there, man. God, Train is such a horrible band. Oh, I need a drink.
My dad kind of indoctrinated us on Train. He was a big Train fan. So.
Oh,
all right.
man.
Well, you've mentioned your dad a couple of times, and like you said you had Green Day playing, when you were a kid. So by young, how young are we, Nathan?
Now I'm 26.
Okay. All right. So now I know where everything sits now. Okay, I got you now. Then, so your dad
I was
is like our age.
Yeah. Him and Eric. Eric, you've met him a couple times.
Yeah.
He's got about 10 years on you, Eric, I think.
Okay.
I assume are you about the same age, Russ?
Yeah, I'm 50.
You look,
I'm 49.
50 looks a lot better on you than your co-host. So.
Dude, I'm 49, asshole.
You're 41?
I'm 49. Yeah. I'll be 50 this year. Yeah.
I'm already throwing that in there. I'm just like, fuck it. I'm saying it now because like when I turn 50 this year, I'm not going to want to say it. So I'm just getting it out there now and getting used to saying it. But
okay.
Yeah, I will be 50 this year. But by that time, I probably will look, still better than Eric. But
Oh, it's a given,
dude. Fair enough, haters.
Oh no. Hey, so I got a quick dad joke for you guys. What concert only cost 45 cents?
I don't know, dude.
50 Cent featuring Nickelback.
Okay, that's funny. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Bravo, sir.
I'll just save that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been hearing that joke my whole life, and I was like, oh fuck, I gotta say, we just talked about Nickelback. I gotta find this fucking joke and remember it. So, but yeah, so no, that was just like when you're saying your dad was, driving around, would listen to Green Day, and that later, I was like, all right, cool. My favorite Green Day record, obviously, is Kerplunk. I felt, that's just one of my favorite Green Day records. I got a framed poster in my living room of the Kerplunk album, and I'm gonna get that tattooed one day of that little anime girl.
That's cool.
So
Yeah.
So now when this airs, a lot of things have already been done, but we can still talk about it. You have a small mini tour coming up with the homies and Graveyard Kids coming up. Is that true?
Yeah, dude, that's 2 weeks from now. I'm still screwed up with the short February month, but it's first first weekend.
March is almost over now.
Yeah, dude.
I know.
You're still that screwed up. It's like it's almost April now.
You got the time change in a short fucking February.
Oh, I know.
And now it's April.
Yeah. But yeah, we've got a little short 3-day thing with Graveyard Kids. We're hitting Carbondale. That'll be our first time in Illinois. It's at PK's, which is I've heard great things about it. It's just a little college town with, from my understanding, not a lot to do. So this bar really does well. So that'll be a cool show. And then we're back in St. Louis again. This will be like our 4th time there. And it's always, Platypus treats us better than any venue we've ever played. And the people are all super cool there. All the bands we play with are awesome. So that'll be great. And then Memphis, which we've played Memphis more than St. Louis, I think. And everybody likes to talk shit about how bad Memphis shows are, but we've had the best experience always. Like our shows, other than the first one where we had all our money stolen. Other than that, Memphis has been great to us. It's at Haven House, which we played their last ever house show there, and it was crazy. And then we were, but they ended up buying a bar, so we're going to be playing their bar for that Sunday night, and then just coming back.
Oh, wow.
So.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, the Graveyard Kids are some good dudes. I've known little Wesley since he was a mere 15-year-old high school kid.
Oh, yeah.
In the hardcore band, when he was in a hardcore band, and then he was in a metalcore band, and then he's always been a punk rocker though, but I really enjoy the Graveyard Kids stuff. And what was he in before what did he have before Graveyard Kids? I can't remember.
Was it
band before that?
He had
Murdoch, but there was also Freeloader. Not Freeloader, that's you, Eric, right?
Heavy Sleepers. Yeah.
Heavy Sleepers.
Heavy Sleepers. Yeah. Heavy Sleepers actually did a show, maybe a couple of shows with LTD. I know one for sure was at the East Room with a band called Western Settings that was on tour.
Yeah, Western Settings is sick. Dude.
Yeah.
I know. Toby and
What's that?
Toby and Heavy Sleepers also?
I don't think so. Not at that time. Yeah, not at that show anyway. But yeah. Little Wes, he was my international tour companion for the second.
Oh yeah.
The second Blacklist Royals European tour. Helped keep me sane because I would want to say that was like my last roller coaster ride with Blacklist Royals before I ended up quitting that following October. Yeah.
I always forget that you guys both were in that band at the same time. I always thought that he replaced you.
Yeah.
You guys were in the band the whole time.
Yeah. He stepped in for Jamie on lead guitar. Yeah.
So Nathan, so Nashville's punk scene, how is that scene down there?
So it has hills and valleys. So it was kind of coming up when I entered it back, basically when I met you, Eric. It seemed like it was starting to do really well, and it was kind of trending upward. And then right before COVID, I remember that year of shows was like the best year since I lived here. I remember Lagwagon was coming through with Less Than Jake. Red City Radio was coming. The Interrupters were coming back, I think. Like there were a bunch of really cool shows I was going to, and then COVID killed it all. So then after following COVID, it seemed like Nashville was really hurting again for good shows, and bands just weren't coming here. And it seems like now it's kind of back on the upward trajectory. I think Cobra is really helping with that because they've been booking some really cool bands that wouldn't normally come here. Like last year, I saw like Mad Caddies. TBR, Teenage Bottle Rocket's normally pretty good about coming through, but they came through. I guess later, it was September last year. I played with them with another band I'm in, and it just seems like Cobra's kind of landing some bigger bands, and those shows are actually doing really well too. It's not like they're having these big bands come and nobody's there. I saw like Last Gang there last year, who's they're like a middle tier Fat Records band, and it was a Wednesday or Thursday night. There were maybe 70 people there. Like
you said, Last Gang. I actually interviewed the singer's husband.
Oh, nice.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and what band is he? I can't remember. I just did it. Empire. There'll be
okay.
that's mine. That's comes out in right before yours comes out. So that's crazy. You said Last Gang. They're really good.
They're great. I'd seen them. Yeah, I saw them at that Cobra show, and then they were right after us for the TBR show. So I always enjoy seeing them. They're so tight, dude.
Yeah, how was that TBR show at the Vinyl Lounge, right?
Right. Yeah, it was actually a great show. We opened it up with No Loves, and it was a pretty decently packed house, especially being the first band. And then once Last Gang went on, it was pretty damn near full. And then TBR was just off the wall crazy. Sean ended up coming out for the first time in ages with his mustache and collared shirt. And
nice.
He was going wild. It was a good time. So.
Right on. Yeah, I guess that happened like right after I moved up here, right? That was like back in September.
It was the day before my birthday. It was September 6th.
Yeah. I had already been up here for like maybe a month when that show rolled around.
Yeah. It's a bad part about I don't drive, so living in I live up in Clarksville, by the way, Nathan. I know you guys have played here at the Rebel House a few different times.
That's a rad place, man.
Yeah, I was just there last night. Actually, it is a great place, man. Dawn is one of the greats for doing that in her venue, and I think she gets mentioned on this podcast every episode, just about.
Nice.
That place was a place we'd been trying to play for a while, and we finally were able to hop on with our buddies Rough Dreams, and they treated us really well. The venue did. It's a cool spot.
Oh, she's super sweet, man. She just loves music, and we don't do it. There's not a lot of punk rock or hard shows there all the time, but at least once a month she'll let somebody do something, that's more than enough,
Right. Yeah.
So, and that No Loves band, I keep hearing them, and I didn't realize they're from Nashville. I just thought they were from somewhere else.
Originally from St. Pete. A couple of them moved up here together. It's been over a decade, I think, but I'm still tentatively like filling in right now on bass, but it's turned into more of a permanent thing. It's kind of just seeing where it goes. Like I was pretty straightforward that I couldn't do a lot of out of town stuff because what I do with my band is about as much as work allows for out of town stuff. So I'm kind of limited with them, but
no, I get it. And it is rough too, though, when you're in more than one band or helping out, because you got to juggle your time but at the end of the day, your band always comes first, though,
Exactly. And I tried to be as straightforward with that as possible up front. Like, look, this is my thing. Like, I'm never going to let this die. So
are you like the OG in the band? Like, did you start this band?
Yeah, it was, I'm the only one that's stuck around that's original. It was me, Eric, and our buddy Sean Wiggins. We were jamming together under SDA, and we found this drummer Joey Radke, and things kind of fell apart with that. With Sean stepping away and you kind of stepping back, Eric, and so me and Joey went on to form the Catastrophes, and from there it was just kind of juggling the right drummer and the right bass player, and we ended up we had been a 4-piece. We slimmed it down to a 3-piece just because it's so much easier to be tight and scheduling. which we're still open to a 4-piece if the right guy comes along, but we're not actively searching. So then we had a guy, James, that kind of hopped between guitar and bass as needed. And it's morphed now into where we've got Garrett. He's been our drummer for over a year now. And then Will, who's been playing with us, he was more of a fill-in bassist for us for a few months before he joined full-time. And now, as of the last month or two, he's been full-time with us. So,
oh yeah, that just seems to be the issue with everybody trying to find a good, solid drummer. Like that's like the hardest damn thing to find.
That's my least favorite thing to do is look for a drummer. I hate it.
Yeah. I think that was probably my downfall of trying to get a band going when I still lived in Nashville, was finding the right drummer and or finding a drummer that wasn't already in like 5 other frickin' bands, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Because I mean, when you have a unit, of a band and everyone is on the same page, and the however many people that are in the band, they all have the same common goal of making music for that one unit. I mean, that's everything. I mean, that's what you strive for. And I mean, if you get that, you hold on to it as, with a freaking death grip. So you don't let that, that momentum, that team go, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, yeah, Nathan, it seems like you've got a solid 3-piece lineup right now, man. So yeah, keep it up, dude.
It's working. I whenever, especially with Garrett, our drummer, when he at first came and tried out, I was straight up like, look, I just need you committed, because he showed up and he at least knew some of the songs, and he had the ability to play them to the right speed, and he had the ability to do what he needed to do. He just needed to learn them. And he's young. He's like the youngest guy I've met in punk rock. Like, I think he's 23, and so he's still got the twinkle in his eye of like wanting to hit the road a bunch and wanting to play all the time, and I love it.
Yeah.
And then Will's never really played in a punk band before, but he loves it. He's a big Suicide Machines fan, and I'm really pushing propaganda on him right now. And
nice.
He's just loving it. So he's kind of bought in all the way too. So it's really, we kind of can do whatever we want. There's no crazy schedules we're working around, and no guys who really aren't committed. They both seem super bought in. So,
well, see, that's the thing about having a 3-piece. If you have the right bass player that is that technical, on bass, where he's basically playing rhythm guitar and bass at the same time. I mean, that is, and you have a solid drummer, that is like the quintessential pieces needed for a 3-piece, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I see a lot of 3-pieces out there nowadays, and then I also see like in the stoner rock world, 3-piece is a big deal, but now I've seen too in that world, like the stoner doom era or genre, they've gone down to 2 members now, where it's just a fucking guitar player and a drummer, and that's it. And I'm like, dude, man,
have you heard of the
do it right? I really did, but
yeah, there's a band called Big Business that my wife is a huge fan of, and they're a 2-piece, and it's a bass player and a drummer. And they are sick. I mean, the bass player plays through so many like pedals, and he's got like, 2 or 3, Ampeg refrigerators up on stage with them. And then the drummer's solid as fuck. But I mean, yeah, dude, you put a fuzz pedal on a bass, and I mean, that just throws everything right in your face. And it's like, you can definitely hear, like a rhythm guitar behind that bass line.
I mean, wasn't that what Lemmy did?
For sure, dude. Yeah. I mean, fuck. Yeah. To Lemmy.
Yeah. No, yeah, but I mean, I bet you that when you have smaller members, 2 members, 3 members, it's fucking so much easier to fucking pack up and go,
100%.
Scheduling's the second best thing with it, because our guys are pretty flexible anyway, and so I mean, just finding time, like we're about to start booking kind of a week-long thing out to Denver and back and their schedules are pretty wide open, so it's really easy to work around. But yeah, they're once we found Garrett, especially on drums, I've kind of latched on, and I'm not going to let him go because I just hate finding a drummer so much because it's been a pain in the ass ever since I've started playing music, basically.
That's my biggest thing. Like, I want to start a new project, but the drummer is like, fuck. I got everybody else on board if I want to do it. I just need a drummer, and I don't want to. But see, I'm not going to do it full time. So, like, finding a drummer that's in a band that has time to do what I want to do, it's like, I don't want to waste somebody's time that wants to be in the band 100% when I'm not doing it 100%. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. Yeah.
But anywho, so what's up with the name? How'd the name come about?
It's funny, man. So when I went to college, me and one of my buddies always had this joke where it was like, we're going to make a joke band that was going to be Buddy Holly and the Plane Crashes. And I always just thought that name was hilarious. And so me and original drummer Joey Radke we were on the phone tossing around names, and I mentioned that because I still think it's kind of a cool name. And he's like, well, what about like the Plane Crashes or like the Disasters or something? I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure the Disasters are already taken by like Roger Moret or somebody.
Yeah.
And so I started looking. I was like, oh, Escapado is Spanish for escape. So like, what if I look up a different language of disaster? So I looked up in Spanish, it's like disastro, and then in French it's catastrophe. So I'm like, okay, cool, that's not taken except by like a virtual fucking cat band that's like non-existent. They don't play. So
the lawsuit
running with that. It's a good thing. Like if we play a shitty set, that's always our fallback. Like it's a gimmicky thing. Like, oh, we're supposed to be shitty. Like, so
there you go. Yeah, it's punk rock, man. You don't have to know how to play. You just have to be a punk, man. I mean,
right?
That's what we call it, punk rock.
Yeah. Hey, that was Cheech and Chong right there. Did Cheech say that? Hey, you don't have to be a punk. You got to be a punk, man. It's easy.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool. I see. I don't know if you've noticed this yet, Nathan, but somebody is a fanboy. Right there. He has a shirt on.
Oh, look at this guy.
That. Look at
I'll sign
that.
it for you later, Eric.
All right.
That is a pretty cool fucking logo. I like that.
It's definitely laundry day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then your co-host designed it.
Yeah. Did you really do that?
Yeah, I designed it for him. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh,
yeah.
Well, I used to like this shirt. No, I'm kidding. But no. So what's in the future besides this little, this tour that's coming up, and then you said possibly planning one to Denver. What else you guys planning on doing this year?
Yeah.
What's the big thing for you guys?
We've thrown around a few ideas. We'd like to make it up to New England. We were talking about doing like 8 days where we're hitting like Toronto, Vancouver, and then down the coast.
Okay.
I don't know on the possibility of that happening, but we've been trying to get out of town for like 3 or 4 shows every month. And so we've hit the Midwest and like some of the close cities a lot. So we're trying to branch out a little more. So this Denver one is really where I'm focusing next. And it's looking like it'll be like St. Louis again, Kansas City, Denver, and then like Albuquerque, Amarillo, Oklahoma City, Memphis, something like that.
Okay.
But it's more so I'd like to get down to Florida, probably in the dead of winter when it's still warm down there. We'd like to be back we did New Orleans late last year, so I want to do that probably in the fall. It's more just whatever show we can land that, like, we'll try and land a Saturday night in a good city, and then I'll build a couple dates around it. I know in May we'll be in Atlanta playing at Mayhem House. So then I got a date in Nashville for that Sunday, and I'm still looking for a Friday date, which if we don't get one, it's not a huge deal. But once this record's out, I really just want to get out and promote it on the road as much as possible.
Well, I got from this podcast, I've been getting hooked up with a bunch of people, and I got some good connections in Canada right now, which I'm actually all my Canadian episodes will be coming up next week, or next week is my first one. This band called Trash Ambulance
Yeah, I heard of
from
those guys.
Canada. Yeah, dude, the dude runs a label. It's called High Denim Records,
Oh,
and
okay.
and then he has a radio show called Denim Radio where he plays music and talks. It's basically like a podcast. But
Gotcha.
dude's fucking super cool as shit, man. So that dude would definitely probably can get you guys up into Canada, and the scene up in Canada is insane. I didn't realize how big of a punk scene, dude, up there.
Right, dude. I'm dying to get up there. I just that's my one issue is I have like no connections. Maybe I have one in Toronto, but like not a strong one. Like I really don't. It would be going in blind up there. But yeah, that's kind of the next big thing I'm trying to do. Is that we talked about Canada, and then as crazy as it sounds, we've thrown around a Cuba tour. So who knows that one.
Talk a lot of shit about Trump, and you'll end up in fucking Guantanamo Bay. So
well, it's funny you say, Cuba. Sorry, I almost said Costa Rica, but Cuba, because that band Trash Ambulance, they've never played the U.S. ever in their like 10 years of being a band, but they've played Japan.
Wow.
And they played Costa Rica because. Go ahead.
Costa Rica is wild. I was talking to somebody, and it's somebody knows the booking guy in Costa Rica because a bunch of my friends' bands have been down there lately, like doing ska punk stuff and whatever.
Well, the dude has, if it's the same guy that you're talking about, but the guy that books a lot of the shows down there has a punk rock zine that he does, and
cool.
And he does write-ups on them, does his best, top 10 albums of local, stuff, whatever. But that dude that runs a zine is the guy who does all the stuff in Costa Rica, which is he's a pretty chill dude. But hell, you guys could probably do a full leg, a whole week and a half tour in Florida. You could do a week and a half tour probably in California. You could probably do a 2-week tour in Texas. It's crazy how. But no, Japan would be cool. That's the place I've always wanted to go. Was like when I was in a band was tour Europe, not Europe, but like Asia.
Yeah, 100%.
So I gotta ask you guys, what do you think's crazier? You think Europe tours or South America? Because I've been talking to people about it, and there's a strict divide. Like,
I've heard Europe is the place to play no matter what, what I'm saying, just because they treat you great over there. One, the fans are just like, they show the fuck up, and nothing against here, but you know how it is. Sometimes you see a band's like, oh, they were just here last month, or I'll catch them next time they come around, blah blah. But in Europe, man, they don't give a fuck if they saw you last month or they're gonna see you 2 more times down the road. They're gonna be at those shows,
Yeah, for sure.
Even for small bands, like I've been talking to some of these dudes that have been on from other episodes, and they go over to Europe, twice in the summertime every year, just because it's worth it, So
Yeah.
Where would you like to go, Nathan?
Yeah. Where are you right now?
Europe's the big goal at some point. I don't give a shit if anyone's going to pay for us to go over there. We'll do a vacation, fucking couple weeks out of it. Plus everything's just so close together out there. You could do 2 weeks in half the countries in Europe. Like, But yeah, Europe's a big goal that's not really obtainable right now, but who knows? Like, that's just kind of like on the back burner. Like, I sometime would like to do that. Canada and Cuba are really the accessible ones.
Why Cuba?
Because no one goes to Cuba, and it's as safe as the U.S. I've never heard of a band touring Cuba, and so I guarantee if an American punk band, no matter how shitty as we are, you show up in Cuba, it says American punk band, people are going to show up. So
I think
that's kind of my thought process behind it.
But did Agnostic Front ever finally get to go to Cuba?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one.
Because I remember there was a tour and Roger, I don't think he was able to go because he was a felon or something, or I could be wrong on that situation because he's Cuban, and just like Dave Lombardo from Slayer, he's Cuban, and I was like, I wonder if Slayer's ever played Cuba, You know, that's be crazy.
It seemed like a South American type country that would have
Mhm.
that type of intensity. You hear about these crazy South American shows, but it seems like
Yeah.
nobody ever goes there. Tickets are like flying down there would be like $300 round trip. But we would do the way we'd plan it out is like 4 dates, 2 in Havana and 2 in, I can't think of the other. There's another big city up the road from Havana, but surprisingly, the issue seems to be finding instruments down there. Like, there's not a lot of music shops that really would carry the guitars we could rent, or
Oh yeah, that would be a pain in the ass for sure.
but that's, I know,
So you
that's
wouldn't
something next year would be cool, I think.
you wouldn't bring your guitars there? You would just rent down there or wherever you go?
I would hope. I mean, I could probably get away with flying guitar down there. Drums was just the same issue.
Yeah.
Finding a kit, because he would rent a kit down there.
Sure.
What we'd like to do is just find a band we could meet up with and just do all 4 dates with them and borrow all their stuff. But
yeah, that would package tour with a local band that's touring down there. Yeah, that would be smart. Yeah.
I heard South America is pretty cool to tour too, because it's just like those countries don't get much of anything, and bands do go out there. Like I know, I listened to an episode with the singer from Death Before Dishonor, and they did a whole Central America tour, and it just sounded so fucking rad because those countries don't have what we have here, you know.
Yeah,
I was supposed to see Millencolin in Bogota, Colombia.
What?
For that reason, it was a small club. That it was dirt cheap to go, and I had a cousin living down there at the time. It ended up falling through, but that was the sole reason I wanted to go, was because those shows are just so wild down there.
Yeah, I've only seen 2 concerts out of America, and that's when I lived in Germany. But it was a big arena type show, so you know it wasn't really the vibe of a punk show,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
I guess so, but no, yeah, I bet you other countries that would be cool. Like, I would love to go see a show in Canada. You know, it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
you got a place to stay in Buffalo. We'll get you a show in Buffalo before you cross the border, for sure.
That's when I was really trying to plan out this New England run, but I was making sure we were in Buffalo. So
yeah. We'll be in the house by then, and we'll have more than enough bathrooms for whomever's with you guys and all that. I've said the same thing to Second Self. It's like trying to get all my homies up here to Buffalo. So
yeah. Well, Laura better take the couch because I'm in bed with you, Eric.
Hey.
All right, I got a question for young Nathan.
Go ahead.
All right, so you've played Cobra, you've played Dark Matter. What is one venue in Nashville that you haven't played yet that you really want to get on that stage?
There's not many that we haven't played. We've played just about all of them now, but the one that I'm holding out on, I won't book a show there because I'm not going to be on the hook for the outrageous production fee there, but we still never played The End. And that's
okay. Yeah.
I used to love that venue. They don't book a lot of shows that I want to go to anymore. They had the Dirty Nil there the other night, which I missed out on, but that's a stage still, like, I don't care about making money on. I don't want to lose 300. Last I checked, it was $350 for a Wednesday night production, which I'm not paying.
Yeah.
But that's a stage we still haven't played yet. We got offered one show that happened to be the same night we were on tour that we had to turn down, but that's one we've missed out on so far. But.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's anything like back when I was playing shows there, just look at the calendar, look at the shows that are coming up at the end, call Bruce, call whomever is like booking, and just yo, get us on. We don't have to make any money. We'll just sell merch. Whatever we make at the door, we'll give to the touring band. That sucks that the production fee is that high now. I mean, I'm not sure if it was like that back when I was playing shows there, but yeah, I definitely want to see you guys up on stage at the end for sure, man. Because that place will forever hold a special place in my heart. And if it ever gets torn down, somebody's got to run by there, grab a brick.
Oh,
from
I,
the
I
brick
for sure will.
and,
I've seen
and
so
send
many
it
of my
to me.
favorite shows there. Like
Yeah.
I saw a Wilhelm scream there to nobody, which
Oh, nice.
that was back when shows were really struggling, and it pissed me off that a band that good there were 20 people there. But
yeah.
I don't know. I think you guys played with. It was the last show I saw before COVID. It was Bigwig there.
Oh yeah. That was that was. I want to say that was probably one of the last shows I played with Sean. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken.
When was that?
That was a Bigwig show.
It was maybe less than a month before COVID fully shut everything down. It was the last show I went to for a year and a half, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. The last show that I went to there in Nashville was at the exit end. Well, not at the end. Sorry, not exit end. At the end, you were there, Eric, because I played with. It was that AF show.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and, that was a great show.
That was the first time I ever got to play the end out of the 20 fucking plus years that I've been doing music. It was the first time I got to play with the end, which I'm glad I was able to do it. Especially with who I got to play with, you know.
Yeah, you got to play with Stigma, dude. Yeah, I got my picture taken with him. He was such a good dude.
Vinny kept calling me, hey, Guerrilla Warfare, come over here. I wasn't. Even though I told him my name, it was always Guerrilla Warfare. Come here.
That's cool.
Smoking weed out of an apple. You know,
that's amazing.
And he said, he told me that, you know why you smoke weed out of an apple? I was like, why is that, Vin? He's like, so if the cops come, you just take a bite and you throw it out the window.
Yeah.
All right.
That's funny, dude.
Touche.
There you go.
That man is going to be 70 years old this year on tour. When he turns 70, he's going to be on tour in Europe.
That's amazing.
I love those guys, man. First time I saw him was with my parents.
Hell yeah!
It was with Dropkick Murphys and Bim Scala Bim. It was rad.
Dude, Dropkick is so good live.
Yeah,
that's my parents' go-to. So I see them all the time. I love those guys.
Yeah.
Then I've probably been to every one of the Nashville shows that you were at with them because I've not missed them yet. And
were you at the Pennywise one? Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I went all the way up to see them in Indianapolis, because H2O was opening up that show, so I had to go see that. And some band called it was a chick punk band, all chicks, the Covents. I can't remember, but they were dope as fuck too. But we literally just, all right, go ahead. But yeah, I literally drove all the way up there to just see H2O open up for Dropkick. So
that's cool, man. H2O is one of those I still haven't gotten to see yet, but I'm hoping one day.
Oh well, they were okay. So there's a Bouncing Soul show tour coming with H2O doing the whole leg. The first leg has been announced. It's not coming to Nashville. The second leg hopefully comes to Nashville, because H2O is just one of those bands, dude. I mean, they're such a fun band, a positive band. Toby Morris is just one of the OGs, man. You know, everybody knows that guy. He knows everybody, you know.
Yeah, and if it's with Bouncing Souls, I know I'll be there, because I've never missed a Nashville show of theirs, because their first one ever was their 30th anniversary in 2017, and then I've seen them twice here since. Like I've never missed those guys here, but
I remember I had seen it was one of the Warped tours. I can't remember which one. It's one of the ones in early 2000s, and it was Less Than Jake and Real Big Fish for both on the same tour. And Real Big Fish comes out and it threw everybody off that didn't know. And they're like, "What's up? We're Less Than Jake." And then they fucking kick into the. And then when Less Than Jake came up on stage, they did the opposite. They said the same thing. "What's up? We're Real Big Fish."
That's funny, yeah.
But yeah, I did see one of the Warped tours I got to see was Paramore was headlining. No, scratch that. Under Oath was headlining. No Effects played underneath them, and then Paramore played underneath No Effects. And Fat Mike, being Fat Mike, he was like, "Wow, we're playing in between a Christian sandwich." But he also said, "You know, I was here about 18 years ago, and I fucked this woman, and she was a blonde lady. And we had a kid, and everybody Paramore.
That's fun.
Apparently, Haley didn't like that, and doesn't want anything to do with Fat Mike. When they were going to give her a big mural at the Punk Rock Hall of Fame or Punk Rock Museum, he turned it down.
What?
Yeah, but
Was that the 2006 Warped Tour?
Is that that one?
I think so.
I don't remember the date. I've seen so many fucking Warped Tours, man.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was 06 because that was Blacklist Royal's first Warped Tour.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, I remember Under Oath being on there, Paramore, NoFX. Yeah.
NoFX is a great band to see live. I've seen them several different times in Nash Vegas.
Yeah, for sure.
Nathan, you ever seen NoFX?
They're another I never got the chance to see. I was decently close to flying out to that last Punk in Drublic, but it just couldn't work out. Like
the one in LA.
Yeah. Well, was it in LA the last one? Where Les and Jake was. They were on the last two shows.
It was that was the last one because that one, man, that when Pennywise sang Broham, fucking everybody and anybody came out. You had Offspring coming out. You had all these dudes. It's like fuck man. That's punk rock, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I went to the one in Denver actually back in July, and I told Eric about it, but that was a show where all hell fucking broke loose because of the weather, and people it was like a mini tornado basically. So I didn't really get to
remember that happening.
Yeah, but even though I was upset I got to miss, I didn't get to see NoFX 2 days in a row. I got to see MXPX, and I was okay with that. So
yeah, dude, 100%. Yeah,
during Let's Ride, he's like let's ride out into the rain, and it's just fucking pouring down rain. Anytime somebody sings a song outside and they mention rain and it's raining, it's just fucking rad.
Yeah, it's like watching November Rain video all over again, but seeing it in person.
Let me grab my phone charger here real quick.
You're good, buddy. That was and then when I was in Cali this last week, I could have went to Gilman Street. The weather was bad.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that I was gonna go because Wes Hoffman and friends played, and I wanted to go. Yeah. Well, he's the reason, and I thank him so much. Him and Brent from Taken Days. I owe a lot of these people that I've been talking to lately is because of those two dudes. Because people know them and had seen their my podcast with them, and they're like, "Oh, let me talk." And it's just been blowing up. It's been great. Those two dudes. Wes is such a great guy, man. So he has been the number one basically advocate for our band. So he I love seeing people still like that. You know what I'm saying? That still like to push other bands real hard and shit. And I just saw where he's about to start his podcast back up. So that's kind of cool. I'd like to see, I'll check that one out. But the reason why he was telling me too, the reason why him and the guy Brent, the dude Brent from Taking Days met up is because of Mike from MXPX. They're both on his podcast separately, and then they both were on the podcast. They both had similar interests. They just started talking. Now they're like best friends and shit. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen on this podcast, Russ. We're going to make friends.
We're going to make friends. my next thing. All right. So I put this up all the time. I'm looking for people. I need to get a female again. I need to get another female. I've only had one female on my podcast out of 43 episodes. And, I need a new female, and I need to get somebody out of country. Like I got Canada, that counts. I guess it's all North America, but I want somebody European. Yeah, I'm trying to go. I think I'm going to reach out to the guy from Spam Records.
Oh,
because they're doing big. They're doing big things right now. That label is like they got everybody signed on that damn label now. You know, so
that's a European label.
Yeah. SBAM.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's Spam. I thought it was SBAM, but it's Spam Records or whatever it's called. But that dude's been doing things for a long time.
Okay.
So, What are you currently listening to now, Nathan?
Right now, listening to a lot of Propaganda. That new single really got me back on a
That's good.
kick. I'm digging into a lot of like their supporting cast record, and I don't know, their latest the Victory Lap. That record might be my favorite still. I don't know,
Dude,
supporting
that's such a
cast.
great record.
Listen to a lot of them. A lot of like Midwest punk, like Banner Pilot and Copyrights, stuff like that. Who else? Red City Radio is always like a big one for me. Yeah, that's it's been so much Propaganda lately. I gotta think back a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of Officer Heads always, but
You said Propaganda. It's like, when I first heard How to Clean Everything when it came out, I didn't realize it wasn't Fat Mike.
Right.
That whole album I thought was Fat Mike. I'm like, oh fuck, this is like a NoFX side project. Come
Yeah.
to find out, nope, they're a fucking Canadian band. But that album still goes hard today. I don't know how hard that album goes.
They hated Fat Mike at that time too, I think, right? Yeah.
Either not. I don't think it was that album. I think it was the next album.
Oh,
And
okay.
there's even like a picture with him, like I think with like a no symbol or something. Or
Oh,
one
nice.
or
Yeah.
one of the songs is about him or something.
Okay.
But now they're all cool,
Yeah, for sure.
Nathan, do you like Comeback Kid?
I've gotten really into Comeback Kid. Probably past 6 months maybe. I still haven't seen them live. I should have.
They were just in Nashville.
Yeah, they were at the Brooklyn Bowl
Yeah,
or East Side Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they played East Side Bowl the last couple years.
Yeah,
I've been getting into them. They're like, I'm kind of picky about hardcore, but they're kind of like the happy medium, like the hardcore I like. I've been getting into them a lot lately. Other than that, hardcore, it's a lot of just New York hardcore, a lot of Agnostic Front.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm a huge Terror fan. I love me some Terror. Can never go wrong with Terror. And the Buffalo's own Scott Vogel, So,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
you gotta get your daily dose of Snapcase too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no. But Eric, you have these questions that I asked you last time we talked for my next guest. Have you already asked that question to young Nathan?
I have not, but I will now.
All right. So this is the thing I do, and then Nathan, you're gonna give me a question to ask my future guest.
All right.
Eric was like, you didn't ask them the question because he listened to my last podcast. I was like, no, those are already bagged. Your question hasn't come up yet, but it just so happens it's going to be Nathan's episode. So,
all right, Nathan, you could do one of two tours. You could do an entire summer Vans Warped Tour.
Okay.
Or you could be main support for your favorite band for a summer tour. So we're talking 2.5 months.
What year of Warped Tour are we talking?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, that was good there. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the last two I went to were pretty shitty. So
yeah.
Fuck, man. If I'm supporting the Bouncing Souls
on a nightly basis,
or I'm on Warped Tour with the Bouncing Souls and everybody else, I'd take Warped Tour.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Because
I'd take Warped Tour.
Yeah, I told my wife about that question, and she threw it right back at me. Well, what would you do? And I was like, opening up for Iron Maiden every night, and then watching them from either side stage or like right up front for 2.5 months, or be on Warped Tour with Social D and frickin', like the first Warped Tour I went to was Social D, Snapcase, Sick of It All, Blink 182 on the Damn It Cheshire Cat era,
Yeah.
Descendants. Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah. That would be that's a tough one to answer, man. What about
Well,
you, Russ? What would you
What
do?
what if Iron Maiden was on the Warped Tour? Because the way Warped Tour has been going these years, it's no longer like the punk rock-ish. It's like you got the metalcore on, which is fine. Nothing against it, but
but the traveling circus, man, that was something to be had, man. That was, speaking from a veteran of Warped Tour, those are some of the best summers of my life, even when we were on it for like maybe 3 days at a time or 4 days. But yeah, I will forever cherish my time on Warped Tour. Yeah.
Well, for me, so you said, headlining with your favorite artist. See, for me, my favorite artist would never have any band or music that I play open for this person. So it would be Prince, you know what I'm saying? 2.5 months on the road with Prince, or the Warped Tour. I'd probably have to go Warped Tour just because of the experience and that traveling, and you're meeting all these new people, and the lineups always changes. You know what I'm saying? On Warped Tour, you don't know what time you're playing. One day you might be playing at fucking 10 o'clock, but then one day you might be playing at 8 o'clock. It's that whole. I'd have to go with the Warped Tour, but don't get me wrong. I would love to fucking sit there and watch fucking Prince every night.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you just got to think about that. It's like seeing greatness on a nightly basis in a different auditorium where the catering's off the chain, the accommodations are off the chain. You're under either an amphitheater where you're not getting rained on and everybody else is, so a lot of
that too, and then too, also. I think every night he plays like different sets every fucking night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I've gotten to see the man, so it would be pretty spectacular. I have to get to see him every night.
Yeah.
But anyway, Nathan, give me your top 5 comedy movies.
Oh shit, man. Well, I'm gonna think of it in a different way of which ones I quote the most.
There you go. That's perfect.
So that'd be a pretty good gauge, I think. Nacho Libre is up there.
Nice.
All right.
Of course, Step Brothers.
Nice.
I mean, if you label them comedy, I love all the Jackass stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Like Superbad's up there for me, I guess. I'm probably showing my age here with some of these, but
nah, you're good.
I mentioned Step Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Step Brothers is definitely up there. I don't know, dude. Me and my wife differ so much on comedy movies that we just don't watch them very often.
Okay.
She loves some really shitty comedy, so we just
What does she like?
She likes like Adam Sandler stuff that I hate, and like fucking
I
don't know. Me and her differ on everything, dude. So we just we find I'm very like my comedy is very I don't know how to like the Jackass comedy. That's my kind of comedy.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know those. I think I named 5. Those are probably my 5. So.
You said comedy, I said comedy movies and stuff, but currently right now, I think comedy in general is bigger than it's ever been. Like these comedians now are treated like they're fucking rock stars, dude. It's insane. Like I'm all about it because that's all I watch and listen to is comedy podcasts and watch these stand-ups. But it's weird because back in the day, nobody gave 2 fucks about going to see anybody like at an arena for a comedian. You didn't see them. Now you got like all these comedians that are all touring arenas and amphitheaters and shit. It's nuts. But it's pretty. Nashville. They say Nashville is like is becoming the new home for comedy besides Austin, Texas.
Oh wow.
Well, there's a lot of people from Austin moving here for comedy. Like they do an open mic comedy night once a week at Cobra, and I mean, for the most part, it's really bad, but that's another hobby of mine. I love sitting in uncomfortable silence when like comedians are bombing. I love sitting there and feeling the tension. But no, there's a lot of people. There are some good ones at Cobra, but a lot of them move from Austin, and yeah, I see a lot of big names pop up at Zanies too. So I try and get out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I love going to comedies, man. But it's like not everybody that I'm friends with are in the comedy like I am. It's like so no, everyone wants to go to shows. You know, like the biggest one we've had in Clarksville was Bert Kreischer sold out the F&M Arena we have here,
Cool.
and that was kind of cool. Where'd Eric go?
Sorry, I had to use the phone.
You're good.
Sorry about that. My agent.
Oh, your agent? Yeah. What kind of deals he's shooting you, man?
Well,
Or
you
she.
know,
Or
I've
she.
got a shitty Adam Sandler comedy movie that I'm doing.
Okay, it's funny that you say that. I signed up back in November for one of those like little, hey, come be an extra or come do a commercial or like one of those little websites. And I've been getting all these messages over the past couple months, and one of them was to be an extra in Happy Gilmore 2.
Man,
It would have been rad.
I turned it. I didn't turn it down. I just never called, but I still keep getting these messages. I think I'm just gonna say fuck it. And I mean, what do I have to lose? Nothing.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
Yeah. I want that to be good, but I'm afraid it's going to be horrible.
I would love for it to be good, but I just don't see a way where it is.
Yeah.
I mean, is Shooter McGavin, that dude, still in it?
Yep.
What's his name?
Yeah,
Okay.
Shooter's gonna be in it. The Smoking Hot
Ben Stiller's
Blonde,
gonna be in there.
and yeah, Ben Stiller is making his cameo as the guy that works at the retirement home. Yeah. The Smoking Hot Blonde that was his, girlfriend. Yeah. She's in it.
I saw that Halloween movie he released a couple years back, and then Ben Stiller was in there as that same orderly in that movie too.
Yeah.
All right, enough about Adam Sandler. Nathan hates Adam Sandler. We're gonna go on. No, I'm joking. Eric, you got anything you want to ask Nathan, or any cool stories that you can embarrass him with?
Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah. Please tell me you got a case for your guitar.
Yeah, I got the hard case for the guitar. My bass is still without a case.
Okay. Well, you're not constantly carrying around the bass, though, are you?
We've played a good handful of shows.
Holy shit, dude! Come on, man.
Sorry, dude. I'm looking for a good deal.
All right, fair enough. All right, so outside of the shows in Nashville, what city is it that you guys can? I guess you can say, make sure that you have like a good turnout that night that you enjoy playing. Like, what city is that?
It's got to be St. Louis. St. Louis, we always have a good show there, and it helps the venue. Venue feeds us and we get
Oh, nice.
I think at the door. Like it's a great venue, and we've got cool dudes we're able to stay with there. It's always Wes Hoffman's been the big connection there, and he always helps us out promoting and setting us up with good bands.
Yeah.
St. Louis is always a good time. Louisville's been good to us lately. We were up we played a couple weeks ago at this. It's an old church that this guy lives in that is a DIY venue, and that was a great show. Louisville's been good to us. We've been up there 2 or 3 times. I guess, St. Louis has got to be our go-to. Like we make sure at least every 6 months we're playing a show there. So
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, other than like the local bands, Graveyard Kids or, whomever else, would you guys tour with out of town band for a run? Have you thought about that? Just combine your connections and make like this solid, long weekend or week-long tour?
absolutely. Yeah. I love going on the road just with another band in general because it's so much more fun, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, Rough Dreams isn't too far out of town. I'd love to do something with those guys. We played with a band out of Miami called Thwacata that they're really, really cool. They were on Fest this last year, and I want to reach out to them to plan some Florida dates. And we've done 1 or 2 road shows with Wes Hoffman. We play with his band all the time. Yeah, we haven't done it yet, but I'd like to. There's a lot of St. Louis bands too. I'd like to reach out to just, even if it's for a couple dates in the middle of one of our tours or something like. Yeah, I'd love to do. Rough Dreams is kind of my go-to. I really want to do something with those guys that's longer than just one date, you know.
And
Yeah.
they're from Knoxville, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my
What-
favorite Tennessee band in general, just overall, every band in Tennessee that I know, those guys, I think I love all those guys. And then music-wise, they're unbelievable.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What is your bucket list venue to play?
Gotta be Gilman.
Yeah, I was at this.
Yeah,
time.
Gilman, hands down. I think like those
They're-
places are kind of dying out, and
I was about to
they're
say
still
that.
around in the history. Like I'm gonna find a way to somehow like swindle somebody into letting us play there somehow. I don't know how, but we're gonna get somebody to let us play there sometime.
Yeah, that was something we talked about. I talked about in a past episode about venues. You know, it's like there really isn't many left anymore that are legendary venues. You know, but you know, Gilman. I mean, CBGB's is a fucking clothing store now. You know,
Right.
hell, even in Nashville. I mean, we've seen so many come and go over our year, over our time. Me and Eric, at least. It's like, you know, we had 328, which was a great venue. But then we kind of had our kind of CBGB ish venue, the Muse. And then, you know, the Muse was a great venue. And then of course, you know, the End is kind of similar to that, I would say, you know, but
The end is kind of what was that for me. It's turned into Cobra now because we walk to Cobra half the time. We're 2 blocks from there.
Nice.
So that's we're friends with everybody there. We love that place. So that's kind of the one that's really going to hurt if it ever goes under. Cause that's like where all me and my wife's common friends are all Cobra regulars that we hang out with. Like, if or when that place goes under, that's going to be rough, but
is it easy for you to get shows there though? Since you do go there often?
Oh yeah. I'm not going to say like it helps knowing everybody, but
yeah, for sure.
It went from I was booking a lot there to now it's getting really hard to book there, but we're hopping on shows with a lot of bands there. So we've got one. We'll be there in about a month. What's today? The 23rd. Yeah, April 26th. We'll be back there. And then we might have something over the summer booked there already. I'm sure there'll be more before then, but that's kind of they've got a decent little built-in crowd that you're at least having a few people there if you play. So
I see you have a show April 23rd with Reckless. Well, no, it's the Reckless Abandon tour.
That's with Zombie, yeah.
Yeah, where is that? Where is that at?
That's at Cobra. That's the one I was
Okay.
trying to. Yeah, that's with Cobra. They're from Connecticut. Really, really cool skate punk band.
Okay, cool. And then you got No Loves on there, and then is this the Gainer Off the Balcony?
Yeah, I don't know about those guys. They I
Yeah.
can't remember if I put them on that show or who they knew or who they talked to get on, but I listened to some of their stuff. They're pretty good. I think they're newer.
Yeah, they're Nashville punk. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be pulling double duty on that one with No Loves. So.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you're doing yeah. Well, Nathan, you got anything you want to plug? This will probably be like, say, what's the 7th of April probably come out. So it'll be after you guys. No, it'll be after you guys tour, I think.
Okay.
So let me look at my.
Yeah,
calendar.
we'll have the new record coming out soon. I'm hoping around that time is when we can get the single out. I try not to have high expectations for that type of thing because I know I have no idea what all is going into it right now, other than what I hear from Drastic. So Hoping sometime around there, give or take a week, there will be a single out, and then I guess just look out for another single probably a few weeks later, and then March 23rd. I'd hope sometime in May the full length maybe comes out. I'd like to try and talk to whatever labels, see if maybe we can do a vinyl run of it. But I also don't want to sit on this for very long. So
Yeah.
Who's mastering it?
It'll be Fogel out in Switzerland or wherever.
Nice. All right, solid. Yeah, I think that's Drastic's go-to as far as who he suggests master the records. I think. Yeah. Because
He's about to go on tour, right?
Drastic.
They just did Wake and Bake, and then I think they're heading out with Suicide Machines for Two Legs.
Yeah, and Fishbone.
Oh, I'm stoked to see them. Fishbone and then Catbite also.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah. That's coming up through Buffalo, and it's on a Saturday. So yeah. I'll be on an IV drip on Sunday. Yeah.
I'm hoping we wrap up everything before he leaves for that. I'm trying to. I don't want him having to rush to get anything.
Hello.
Oh, Nathan's frozen.
Nathan is frozen in time.
Oh,
he just
no.
wants us to look at that face of his.
Right.
You know.
Damn young kids.
Hold on. All right. After that, me and Eric just got done staring at your beautiful face when you were not with us.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you.
Styling tips.
So tell me, how was it working with Matt?
It was awesome, man. He's like a super humble dude. So when I kind of tell him about like he's the number one guy I wanted to go to, there's no one in Nashville that really comes close to at least like us wanting to record with him, and what he's been a part of, what he's recorded. I'm a huge Dopamines fan, huge Raging Nathan's fan, and the fact that he's done basically everything for those guys, like that sold me too. But he's super just like supportive and adds in what he thinks, and it's kind of from a guy like that, I really like respect what he has to say about some of our stuff. He just knew he knows what he's doing, and I have no negative things to come out of it with. So it's definitely
familiar.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, were you familiar with any of his bands? Besides Less Than Jake, were you familiar with like the Teen Idols?
I had known, yeah. So Teen Idols was kind of, I'd known about them and his connection to like the Queers and the Methadones and all that. And then of course his connection to Less Than Jake. I knew about his connection before he was drumming for him, and then kind of when he came in drumming with him. So
yeah, his catalog of bands that he's been in is pretty cool. He's played with some great people, Did he do Screeching Weasel too?
Yeah, I don't think it was funny too, because I don't know how I came across his Discogs like history of what he's been a part of, but some of the Common Rider record on there with Jesse Michaels, he was a part
nice.
Of. And I'm like, dude, add that to the list of records, like some of my favorite records of all time that you're a part of.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I was singing on that record. I was doing gang vocals for that.
Wow. Yeah. I wasn't really familiar with anything else that he did other than, Teen Idols. And then when I started talking with Murdoch, and he was telling me that, oh man, so I just left the studio from, with Nathan, because he was doing like, I guess, backup vocal or gang vocals or whatever. And he was like, dude, you got to talk to the dude, man. It's the drummer from Less Than Jake, man. And I was like, what?
He's got a lot of cool stories. So
yeah.
So
go ahead.
Nate, with you, are you still drinking Budweiser on the reg?
Of course, dude. Where's the
Okay.
Hell yeah.
And then
All
I'm
right.
mixing it up right now.
Oh geez.
Oh.
It's only
All
cheap
right.
beer in this household. So
So you said the Queers, which just made like light bulb, pop in my head as far as like Budweiser. You guys have to add I Only Drink Bud to your set. Have you heard this
great
song?
idea, actually.
Yeah,
It
dude.
never
I
crossed
mean,
my mind.
you are the patron saint of Anheuser-Busch. So you have to, you guys have to start playing I Only Drink Bud,
That's
even
a
if
great
it's
idea.
just
I
like,
might actually do that. Like,
yeah, I mean, play it and maybe before, just announce, that the band is thirsty and 1, 2, 3, 4. And the next thing you know, after the song, you guys have, a tray full of Budweisers up on and Bud Heavies up on the stage for you, man. So
that's like the first good idea you've had, Eric.
oh, fuck off.
Nathan did say there was going to be some shit talking.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Where's the band rip of a Budweiser shirt?
What's that?
Where's the band's rip of a Budweiser shirt? So why don't you guys like a catastrophic Budweiser shirt?
I need to do that, man. I've been trying. I thought Eric took up all the good beer knockoff logos with like the LTD with the Rolling Rock and all that, but that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope, And did you have that on a pint glass too, Eric?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That was thanks to Wiggins and his constantly bringing a 12-pack of Rolling Rock to band practice. That shit is just gut rock.
Hey, easy. I love a good Rolling Rock sometimes.
Yeah.
I will say this: when there used to be this bar in downtown Clarksville called the Front Page Deli, and that's what they had for $1 a bottle was Rolling Rock. I mean,
dude. I mean, when you and I turned 21 and we could actually drink legally, that's what we were drinking. We were drinking.
Yeah.
We were drinking Rolling Rock, or what was the Red Dog? You remember Red Dog?
Red Dog. Yeah. They had like Red Dog had like when you popped the cap, it had like the little game underneath it, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You know what I was drinking a lot of when I was a young Russ. I was drinking a lot of St. Ides.
Oh, geez.
Talk about rock gut.
Yeah. It's when you wanted to be a gangster rapper.
Yeah, I was smoking blunts and drinking 40s.
What I tried the other day, I'd never tried it, I guess. We were out in Denver at this little dive, East Fax Tap, and I tried Rainier for the first time because they don't have it anywhere near.
Did you say East Fax?
Yeah, East Fax Tap.
Is it on Kofax?
Yeah, dude.
Kofax is a big part. It's like I think one of the longest roads in Denver.
That's what my buddy told me. Yeah.
There's the good part and the bad part, and the bad part is like at the end where my buddy was staying. My buddy stays in a nice neighborhood. He stays in a town called a park called Lakewood.
Yeah, okay.
And but that's where all the prostitutes and all the fucking druggies and shit be hanging out too. But then you got the good parts of Kofax.
We were staying right in between, like where it meets, where it's bad and good.
Okay.
And then East Fax is like a couple blocks into the bad. It's a townie bar. And it was a great, really cool bar. Saw a cool St. Patty's Day punk show. But yeah, I tried Rainier for the first time, and I love it. Like,
were you just there?
Yeah, I was there. We got back. We played a show Monday night with like Jay Navarro from Suicide Machines and the Dolly Rots. And so we flew back. I got in that morning, Monday morning from Denver. We were there for 5 days, maybe.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, I flew into I left California Monday, St. Patty's Day at 1:30. I left my aunt's house at 1:30. I didn't at PM on Monday. I didn't get back to Nashville until 6 a.m. Tuesday morning. I had the worst. I've been flying for over 30 years. That's the worst day of travel I've ever had because my flights just kept getting canceled and then rebooked and then canceled and then rebooked and then layover and then it was rough.
Yeah, that sucks, yo.
Yeah. And this to say that I get an Uber from the airport in Nashville to my house and this dude is falling asleep on the interstate.
Oh, Jesus.
Like he literally pulls over. He's like, I gotta walk this off, man. And I'm like, dude, like seriously right now? And then then we get back in the car. He's like, all right, I'm good. I'm like, woo, slapping his face. He's good. We get up to this wreck. Like, I look over and there's 3 cars. One of the cars looks like somebody took a fucking Coke can and mangled it up and tore it apart. And I'm just like, bro, I'm about to walk to Clarksville from here because this dude is scaring the shit out of me. But he got me home somewhat safe. I don't care what happened to the man after he left my house because I was home.
Yeah.
But I complained. I complained to Uber about this situation because the dude should have been driving on the road. Actually, he's putting a lot of people's life in danger, not to mention my own. But you know what they did for me? They gave me $7.
What?
Oh, man.
So I wrote them another fucking. I was like, look, this dude is driving half asleep, people's life in danger. All my life's worth to you is $7, and they're like, well, that's all we can give you right now until we investigate more into this situation. I'm like, just look at the dude's fucking ride history. It's going to say he pulled over on the interstate 3 different times and fucking was walking around for 10 minutes, But
yeah, for sure, man. Damn.
And $7. That's all I'm worth, guys. So don't try to kidnap me. You won't get much.
Fuck.
Oh, anywho. All right. Well, this has been fun. I enjoyed your time, Nathan. You're a pretty cool guy.
Thanks,
Eric,
Eric,
I wish you were as cool as Nathan.
Well, I mean, I'll get some tips from him. I'll call him after this, and we'll have a one-on-one coaching.
I kind of took Eric under my wing anyway, so he had someone to look up to. But
oh, wait a second, Nathan. You said high school. Where did you go to high school in Nashville?
Gallatin.
Where did West Borland go to high school at? Hillsboro High.
Yeah.
West Borland from that little band called Limp Bizkit. It's crazy that he went to. Well, I think he only went like a year or something there, but yeah, I think he has family in this area or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, Nathan, tell everybody where they can find your band.
Yeah, we're on Instagram. It's the Catastrophes Punk. On Spotify, we're on all the streaming stuff. It's like Spotify, Apple Music, and then a bunch of shit I've never heard of from DistroKid. So
yeah, I know what you mean.
Chances are we'll be on there. On Facebook too, the Catastrophes Punk. Instagram's where we're the most active. So
I think that's where most people are active at these days. I have Facebook just because it's there. But if anybody messages my podcast page on Spotify, on Facebook, it never gets checked. So I need to fix that. So Eric, you got anything?
I'm still holding on to Bad7 all around supervillain at myspace.com.
yeah,
Hey, I ain't gonna lie though, man. Anytime a new platform pops up, I'm securing my Russ Attitude, and I'm securing You Want It Pod. So I have them, just in case somebody wants to, just in case I get famous and they want to start buying my shit, and I got to pay for it.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I wish I had a lot of those pictures from the old MySpace days, man. The Lonesome Town Drifter page, we had some really cool pictures of us. We had made a trip out to Memphis to see Bouncing Souls and Hot Water Music. And we stopped by, Graceland that day. And yeah. So we're standing outside the gates of Graceland, leather jackets, big pump, looking like a bunch of nerds. But wish I still had those pictures.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the pages are all still there, but all the pictures are gone. I think for the Taken Under page, my band page, there's 6 pictures on there.
Yeah.
And that's it. But then there's this blank spots of where because they lost all that information somewhere. That was all the music and shit. So it had nothing to do with Justin Timberlake buying it. It had nothing to do with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
All right, guys, go check out MySpace, and we'll see you later. Peace.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Later.
Yep, see you guys.
See ya.
Hold on. What? We ain't stopping yet.